positive quality template. That's what we worked with all yesterday to find out what works well, right? And what you just worked at, that's kind of what you ended up with that ambiguous quality. We're inserting it basically into your positive quality database template. We have the negative quality. We're going to call it X, even though we know what it is. Okay. Then, what is the opposite of that? You don't need to tell us, but we're going to call it Z. But can you think of like an exact word that would describe the opposite of X? This is important because while with this, right, we have this negative quality, and so we have a database of that. That means there's also going to be some counterexamples where that wasn't true, right? As with any database. So we could just try to then skew this and start working everything, but instead we're going to just see what's there and we're going to start transforming things, but we're going to create a new template. This is kind of like creating a new quality out of nothing, where we see what's there. But instead of just trying to transform this entire old database, which is kind of, in a sense, anchored to whatever the quality is, we're basically going to be creating something new.
Can I make a request? Can you change X to Y? Because we used X earlier for something else. It would give it a negative meaning. Start calling it X. It's going to confuse us.
There we go. Wow.
Thank you.
Okay. So did you come up with an opposite quality? I suppose if you need help with that.
Yeah, I need help. I mean, just for a word, as a word-wise.
Proactive?
Think about what you would like to do instead of.
Right.
Instead of procrastinating.
I mean, I'm thinking completion, but that doesn't seem like it fits. Procrastinator, a completer. I mean,
Finishing, that was actually one of the things mentioned in Sid's book as one of those qualities.
finisher,
But
Yeah.
I guess, and this again, the content, is it more about starting things or finishing them? Because those are kind of two different qualities you might want to work with. Some people have much more problems with the one than the other.
well,
Or could be with everything.
actually, it would be starting and finishing.
Yeah.
So finishing wouldn't be the right quality then. We'd want to get something that
Complete. That's why I say completion.
That's kind of stuff, but
Doer.
you can procrastinate completion.
What about just action? Taking action.
Well, but if you take an action, but then you don't, to me, you could.
Completing. Okay, we'll go with
Complete is
completion.
good.
Completion.
It's not
I mean, I'm
finish.
just looking at what I need, you know, if I start something,
Finish.
and don't finish it, I want to start it and finish it.
Okay, yeah, so we'll go with completion. Y and Z. Okay, describe me briefly, what does your positive database look like? Not of these qualities with what we worked with yesterday. I want to get a understanding of what it sounds like to you.
It's kind of, it's visual, it's color, it's kind of panoramic.
Panoramic, okay.
Yeah.
How many examples roughly?
30, 40, 50.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Are you associated in these or dissociated? Or a mixture of the two?
A mixture, yeah.
Okay. And so you're seeing them sort of simultaneous?
Simultaneous, yes.
Okay, good. And is it in all modalities? I mean, you're seeing it here, are you also hearing the sounds of the...
It's mostly visual.
Mhm. Mostly visual?
Yeah.
Are you saying anything to yourself here?
On the positive?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
not so much.
Good to know. Just because that was coming up in his previous
No, right,
example,
yeah,
so I was checking with that. So that's interesting.
The
with positive.
negative kind of comes up I've just noticed from what we've been doing.
It's only you say bad things to yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, so we have that positive example database, that sort of template established. So what we're working towards in the end, we want it to look something like that, although there may be some differences. Okay, so your negative quality Y, what does your database of this look like? What do you notice? Don't take too long telling me.
Yeah.
That's a procrastination.
Well, I mean, I'm hearing someone saying, didn't finish this, or
Mhm. You hearing someone? So it's someone else?
No, it's me.
Okay. Okay. Just one example, or are you here?
Well, I mean, if I think of specific things that I didn't, that I
Mhm.
did, or, you know, I didn't complete, then yeah, I can think of those incidents. Yeah.
Okay. So it's predominantly what you're saying to yourself about these instances?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any visual?
Not really, it's just,
Okay. So what's your sort of voice tone as you're saying these things?
kind of mocking, like, that's something you didn't do, or you should have done, or why didn't you do this?
Mm-hmm. And what's the location? Is it all in the same place?
Yeah, it's usually left,
Left?
but, yeah, left, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So what were you gesturing to over on the right side as you were saying these things? Were you aware of that?
This?
Your right hand was going like this?
No.
Okay.
There you go. Something's over there.
Yeah. Okay, so they're all in the same location? So it's kind of like a sequential auditory?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yes, sequential, yeah, yeah.
Okay. And about how many examples would you say you have?
As many as I need.
Okay, good. So you have an idea of what the negative database looks like? All auditory. Okay, very good. So, completion. Let's go to that. Well, actually, let's go back to the negative database. Is there any counterexamples?
Of,
Any counterexamples to procrastination?
oh yeah, yeah, definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
And how do you represent those?
I just can see myself getting something done,
Okay. And where do you see this?
front,
Okay. Movie?
movie, yeah, color,
Okay.
yeah.
How big?
It's,
Okay, got it.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay. Are you associated in this or dissociated?
I'm watching.
You're watching? Yeah.
Yeah.
You said, I see myself. That kind of indicates that, but I wanted to check. Anything else you notice about this?
No, color, movie, front, yeah, it's eye level.
Okay. Is there any sound in these movies?
No, I don't notice.
Okay. Are you talking to yourself at all in these movies? Go ahead and step into one and associate into it.
Okay.
And notice your internal dialogue that's here.
So I'm just congratulatory, yeah, hey, you got this done, this is good, good thing.
Excellent. So you could hear a little bit of a different tone. Is there a certain location for that? Is that left side still, or?
That, I don't notice any, I just hear a voice, I mean, I don't see any position.
Okay, interesting. So would you say it's coming from yourself?
Yeah,
Like
inside, yeah,
inside
yeah,
instead
yeah.
of outside?
It's an inside voice, yeah.
Okay, so quite a bit different. So go ahead and step back out of that movie, and you can leave those there. So you said you had basically infinite examples of the
Well, yeah.
procrastination. How many of these visual examples, counterexamples to this do you have?
Visual counterexample?
Yeah. So these are examples of you getting stuff done,
Oh.
doing things.
Um,
How many of these do you notice here?
I've got 10.
Okay, good. So we want to forget this whole database for a moment. We'll come back to it later. And we want to move over to the completion database. Now, those counterexamples in the previous one, those may be here, but it can kind of be like starting fresh. So go ahead and bring those in if they weren't already.
Bring in the...
The 10 visual examples.
Okay,
Okay. Good. Are those in place?
yeah.
Okay. I want you to find a few more. Or would you say most of these are in the past or present? Yeah.
Yeah, pass, yeah, I think they have to be.
Okay. Go ahead and find a few more in the past. Just find some other examples when you completed things.
Okay.
Okay. Find some in the present. Like you came to this workshop, right?
Just started.
You're just about completing it,
Yeah.
so.
I saw you complete lunch.
You complete that drill. So yeah, there's stuff in the present. And we'll get back to the future examples, but you might notice some automatically pop up that you can complete things in the future. Okay, so here we have this database, and we'll come back to this, but go ahead and set this aside and bring back up the procrastination, the negative quality database.
Okay.
So you still have those visual counterexamples, which happen to be in the other one, but you disappeared. We'll leave this one up for a little while. Okay, so we have the positive visual examples. We had the 10 auditory examples, people around him. We had the positive thing he was saying to himself. From there, I think we added,
So hold on for a second. The 10 people saying negative things, you moved them.
no, it was 10 people saying positive things. He had a whole bunch of examples here, and they're all in the same space. There's a whole bunch of these.
They were telling him positive stuff?
No, this was all negative. This is negative self-talk.
Yeah.
To get rid of that or change it, that's when the 10 people, I did it in a little different style just because I wanted to show a different way. I positioned them all around him because different sort of drills I found that's very powerful. You're kind of surrounded by people.
So they were telling him positive stuff to
Positive
blow
things.
out the negative.
Yes.
Right.
So and we had to then take that and kind of go sequentially through these to get them to transform because there was a lot of the
Because you
negative
couldn't
ones, not examples, yeah, and we couldn't group it well. So we kind of ran through that process. Did it eventually generalize for you?
Yeah, basically. I mean,
Kind of after running through a whole bunch of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah.
went through all of them that I could see.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was no grouping, so I just said, oh, it's one big group because I still wanted to go after that effect. So that kind of was a subconscious command for him to start doing that. And it seemed to have worked. We just had to go through it a little bit at a time.
So you moved their chorus to the positive.
Yeah, because that was helpful. So, why not have those people? It's probably harder to read now with all this.
Now you're giving him a positive self-talk and the chorus is there.
Yes. Yeah, so once we were over here, once I brought this in over, I was like, okay, so the negative thing had basically been blown out. Now there's a gap there. Let's fill it in with something. And he just real quick came up with something
And then
positive.
The positive database is like edited negative.
No, we kind of, but kind of separate. We didn't just start with this and change it over. Instead, I talked about this. This was completion, right? So we kind of kept that as something separate,
okay.
and we just brought things over. Now you could just do it there, but once again, it's sort of that you're then trying to transform procrastination into completion.
Yeah.
Versus, okay, yeah, I have a procrastination database, but now I have a completion database.
Right.
It's a little easier to build up
Yeah.
that way. From here, we did a couple other things like the metaphor. We did a little with the counterexamples, so those got added in just to fill it up, make it a little bit of a richer database.
So the completion database, this one, it's based on his real experience also, his real recollection. He did not make it up, right?
Except for the feature.
Except for the
Yeah,
feature.
yeah, then we
These
feature.
are, so basically he did not edit anything. He basically came from his own experiences, used the completion ones there and collected it there, and then maybe did future based
Right.
upon it.
I mean, the only thing kind of made up was, I guess, would be these people, and
chorus.
maybe he had heard some of those things before, so maybe some were past experiences, some were things people would have said if you asked them about it. So that's kind of, I guess, a little bit of the fantasy thing, but it worked. But yeah, it's still all really.
So how
real
did you
experience.
apply, why did you decide to apply the chorus? Is it something he said?
So his negative database was pretty much all auditory, right?
Ah.
So we could try to transform that visual and then work with it that way. And that's something you guys were doing a little bit in the other drill. But we also found this kind of structure was the same sort of thing you did over there. I just did it in a little bit of a different manner.
Okay. And then
I just said, bring it over, basically.
this is all you just moved.
Yeah. right? That was pretty easy to do, right? Just move it over.
Sorry.
You're just thinking of, okay, I have one database here, one database
So you
there. moving it.
consolidated them, basically. You squish these two together to make it this. The positive, this next one.
This one?
Yeah.
No, this was just our idea in the
Ah,
beginning
okay.
of what it was. So this was just to give me a structure that I would
I see.
aim for here. But this was some other quality, right? And we see that it's a little bit different. We still had the visual examples were very much the same. In this other quality, there's really no auditory. Whereas this one, it kind of needed because we needed to override
Well,
it.
what I'm not understanding is how does this override that? I didn't make the connection.
What override?
This positive
This
quality
override that?
information, yeah, how did it override? I mean, he could still have both. He could still be both of
And
them,
it would be
right?
ambiguous.
We did transform sort of all the examples were really, the counter examples were auditory, and we transformed
So you did
those.
edit this?
We were editing those through the other voices.
Audio.
That was our kind of way of
Auditory.
doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, one thing, the key thing that he said was it's round out that negative self-talk,
Okay.
and that's what.
And he had a whole bunch of examples here, so, and we went through like one at a time at a rapid pace till they all kind of dissolved. So yeah, I mean, trying to access your procrastination database right now, what's your sort of experience of that?
Huh? Well,
I really like the way you chart it like this. It makes so much sense to understand.
This is how I'm thinking as I'm coaching, because I need to actually like see it and understand what's going on. That's going to help me keep track.
Right.
So if I get lost at all, I'm thinking back to here, what do we need to do to go from wherever we're at to where we want to go?
But it actually helps diagnose,
Yeah.
do a diagnostic process evaluation. Like here, I wasn't clear, when you finished, I wasn't clear, okay, did that override it? How did he override it? And I forgot that you actually did edit it here.
Mhm.
But so now.
Yeah, it was in audio editing, so we didn't really work with the visual much in this example.
Right.